But now, going into week number 6, which starts tonight, we are going to give you our favorite player props, game lines, and everything that you need to be putting in your slips to win some money this weekend. You see our records on the screen. Last week was terrible on all accounts, but hey, that is just going to come with betting. There was a lot of upsets last week and a lot of teams that won that probably shouldn't have. Regardless, we are going to get back on the right track this week as we have for the last year and a half. We've dominated this upwards close to 70%. We'll start with game lines, and my favorite game line on the week is perplexing, man. You have the New England Patriots coming off the biggest win on their season on the road in Buffalo, and now they're going to a team that had a quarterback that just got his first career win in New Orleans. I don't understand this. It is minus 2.5 on DraftKings. They are undefeated on the road this season at 2-0. Mike Vrabel is going to have this team ready, and I just think they run all over the New Orleans Saints. I don't believe in the one win that the Saints got over a team in the Giants who had a quarterback making his first road start in his career. I'm going with the Patriots minus 2.5 on the road, and that's a potential max unit play. Amir, you're going with a team total, first one on the year, and this is the team that's playing the worst defense in the NFL by a wide margin.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams over 23.5 total points. The original line is at 26.5, but you lock this in now, it's still at like minus 180. And honestly, I mean, I don't know why this line is so low. I mean, the Ravens are the worst defense in the league. They're giving up 28 points per game. They've given up, let me see, two
I mean, they've
40-point
given up
games.
100 points.
Seriously, two 40-point games, 38 points, 37 points. And the only reason why they're not giving up like 35 plus points is because the Browns scored 17 points. And so I think their defense is going to get absolutely shredded. I think the Rams scored 30 plus. And also, I mean, the Rams are over in their last 3 out of 4. They just had 23 points against a great Niners defense. I think they absolutely easily put up close to 30 points.
Yeah, no arguments on that end. I was close to putting Pittsburgh minus 4.5 at home against the Browns. We just never win in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But again, it was that. And I just saw the New England line. I couldn't believe it. I thought that would have been a
That's crazy. Crazy
close to a
line.
touchdown for sure. But there is a phenomenon going on in the betting world, Amir, as far as player props,
Yeah.
and it's the Pat Surtain method. Basically, this season, every number one wide receiver that has faced Pat Surtain has gone under their receiving yards line when they've played Surtain. Of course, the reigning defensive player of the year. But then the following week, they have their best week on the season. It has happened in multiple weeks. Last week's example was Jamar Chase finally had his breakout week without Joe Burrow. This week, that means it's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle receiver. And this is a guy that's been complaining all season long. And I just think he has a great matchup on the road Thursday night in a bounce back spot against a defense he has dominated. A.J. Brown, over 59.5 receiving yards. I'm just following the trend here, man. Every receiver that is not across Pat Surtain, usually goes off. So A.J. Brown against Deontay Banks, I like my chances here, Amir. But let's go to you. You have a Fanatics line here, so if you guys run that sports book, of course, there you go. But this is a line that's been covered in 4 or 5 games this season. It's also a receiving prop. Where are you going?
I'm going Quentin Johnson over 3.5 receptions, and I took this line at 4.5 last week. But the game was a bit of a nasty game. You had a few receptions by him, being taken back because of penalties. You saw Herbert get pressured and get hit all game, and he still almost cashed. I mean, Herbert had 160 yards, and he still had 4 receptions
Yeah.
and 4 targets. So I think this week against Miami, Miami's defense is absolutely trash. They aren't giving up many receptions and receiving yards, but I think this is a game with no Najee, no Hampton. I mean, they honestly won't be able to run the ball much. You'll see a lot of mass protect passing the ball. You'll see Herbert sitting in shotgun. And so I think Quentin Johnson gets close to like 6 receptions here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, who on that Miami defense is stopping Quentin Johnston
Yeah.
when they have to also worry about Lad McConkey and Keenan Allen? QJ, that's the biggest reason why he's having a great start to
Mhm.
2025. Now, I want to go to this game now that should be relatively high scoring. Joe Flacco got traded to Cincinnati, and they are going to try and put up a fight against this Green Bay defense that is rested, and they're going to be at home. But unfortunately for Cincinnati, Joe Flacco doesn't help their defensive issues. That defense can't stop anybody. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. And I think Green Bay coming off a bye with a running back that's rested, he's ultimately the MVP of this offense. Josh Jacobs over 94.5 rush and receiving yards. That's a key part here. I think is an absolute nuke this week. I mean, Cincinnati's averaging over 120 on the ground to starting running backs this season. I think Josh Jacobs goes in there and just pretty much picks apart this defense. They're 14-point favorites at home. That line hasn't changed with the addition of Joe Flacco. I just think that they get up early and they're going to run their way through the rest of the game to get this momentum back on the right track. So Josh Jacobs, over 94.5. It's been covered by all starting running backs this season, at least their lines, respectively. But Amir, you're going with another line that's been covered in 4 or 5 games this year. And where are you going?
And so before I get to my game, I love that prop. And also, too, I love Flacco's passing yards. And he just brought it up.
What's
I
that
think
at
it's
right now? Are those lines already out?
not yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be anywhere from around like 220 to 250.
Yeah.
I just think it'll be a game where they get so many garbage yards. And plus, I mean, minus 14.5 is a huge spread. Like, I wouldn't mind doing like an Oscar like plus 18.5 or something like that. I just think it's a game where they get so many garbage yards. I think Jamar Chase is going to get like 10 targets minimum. I think they just stat pad that game. But to kind of go to my prop, I have Geno Smith over 5.5 rushing yards. And I took this last week. It cashed. I took over 4.5. This is such a random line. And,
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of a couple of weeks ago. I sent you a play where it was like 2 for like 1 rush yard.
Yeah,
And
it
so, I
was.
mean, it's so funny in the cash. But, I mean, to kind of give up some data right here. So it's covering 4 to 5 games. Ever since Denard Wilson has been the coordinator for the Titans since last year, 16 out of 22 quarterbacks have covered since last year. And the only guys that went under was like Goff, Flacco, Mac
Pocket
Jones,
passers. Yeah.
Rodgers, right? Guys that just sit in the pocket. And so quarterbacks are also over 5 out of 5 games this year against the Titans. And so I think this is a game where Geno gets pressure. I think the Titans defense is tough enough to kind of slow on the pass. I think he rolls out and gets some yards here.
Yeah, it only takes one rollout to get this for Geno Smith because at this point he's playing for his job. So he
Yeah.
better get this ball rolling in the right direction. All right, before we get out of here, of course, we have to do our long shot Thursday night play on the week. So, hey, if you stay to this far into the episode, you get this long shot for tonight because, hey, it's plus 200. And no matter what you put, you're going to get double your money, if not more. Amir, you're all Philadelphia in this matchup. Of course, Philly on the road in New York against Jackson Darts, but you're still going with the team that's won 23 or 21 of 23 games. Run us through this parlay.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting play. I'm gonna be honest. I'm nervous to take any Giants picks. I'm nervous to take Jackson Dart's rushing yards, which has been a common theme in the whole betting community these past few weeks. But I just think Philly. I think they cover the minus 5.5 spread. I think on the road, this is a great bounce back game. We just watched the Giants go on the road and play against the Saints team, and they absolutely collapsed. The
Yeah.
offense looked bad. The defense looked bad. I just think even if Saquon is banged up, even if he doesn't get 15, 20 carries, I think Hurts still wins his game with his arm. I think this would be a cruise control game. And also, too, for Saquon, I mean, his receiving yardage and receiving production has gone crazy these past 3 weeks. Actually, to kind of read some of these numbers, like last week he had, like 40 yards. I think the week before that, let me see what he had. So
Receiving
actually,
yards, to
okay,
clarify, as you're looking it up.
right, yeah. So actually last week he had 58 yards. Week before that, 31 yards. And even the week before that, he had 9 yards, but he had 5 targets. And so I just think this is a game where I think the Giants get absolutely shredded by Saquon, even if they throw the ball a lot. I see a lot of people kind of betting towards like a heavy passing script game. Taking Devontae Smith and AJ Brown's yards. And so I think Saquon gets some of those targets. And same thing with Dallas Goedert. I think Goddard is his safe check down option. I just think, with Philly, with their O-line being a bit banged up, we all know the Giants' strength is their pass rush, is their D-line. So I expect so many check downs, so many quick throws across the middle to Goddard and Saquon. So I kept it safe. I think plus 200 is great where it's at. If you want to go ahead and throw Jackson Darts rushing yards for 25 plus, I think now it's at like plus 350, something like that. So this is what I'm running.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, even earlier in the show, I took AJ Brown for 60 yards. If you want to alt line that down or hey, take it straight up, I agree with you in the fact that I am all over Philly in this matchup. I am not interested in taking 35 yards from Darius Slayton. The Eagles should get back on track here. Let's not forget, just because of one loss, who and how dominant they were throughout all of last season, the postseason, and to begin this season. I think they get back on track here against a divisional foe.